Thank you so much for stopping in. The thing that's been on my mind today is what will happen with the stock market. And so I'm going to ask the cards what's going to happen with the stock market in general, just overall. Today is April 11th of 2025, and it's 7:39 a.m. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the black and gold tarot deck. I don't know I don't know the definitions of tarot cards, as you all know, but I do. These cards have an explanation on the bottom of every card. So it shows the card, and then it shows what it references, and then what it means. I'm going to do both upright and reverse with these today, and then I'll read. Basically, I'll just show you the card, and then I'll tell you what it says. And hopefully we'll get an answer about what's going to happen with the stock market. And just basically cards tell us about the stock market. Okay, cards are ready. Okay. The first card is Page of Swords reversed. First card out, Page of Swords reversed. It says bad or disappointing news, lack of ideas, defensive, a player, paranoid, sarcastic, cold, cynical, lack of education, scatterbrained. That's the first card out. It's telling me that there's just a lot of, the word cynical is interesting in this whole picture right now. There's a cynical approach from the market side, and there's a lack of education from the consumer side, from our side. Most people don't really understand how the stock market works. Okay, the next card, but even though there's bad or disappointing news, the next card up is Ace of Pentacles, upright. It begins to offer, the market begins to offer new financial opportunities. Isn't that appropriate? That's what we're talking about. And then it goes on to say new jobs, resources, investment, abundance, money, wealth, health, comfort, stability, manifestation. So even though at this point it's looking bad, it's looking disappointing, and the fact that a lot of us don't really know how the market works, it's still coming up. It'll still eventually result in new financial opportunities. And maybe that's for the new financial opportunities to smaller businesses who've never been able to enter that arena because it's just too political, it's too expensive. It takes too many connections to get your company into being able to even think about listing it on any of the market platforms, let alone the big ones. The next card is Four of Pentacles in reverse. This card is saying there's a lack of stability. There's still a lack of stability, even though it's been disappointing recently, and there will be new financial opportunities, new opportunities in general. There's still a lack of stability, reckless spending, shady investments, the lack of security, dissatisfaction, exploitation, deceit, theft, failure. Okay. So the third card up is telling us that there's a lot of, as we're beginning to find out, corruption in everything, including the stock market. But there is still a lack of stability at this point. The next card is the Six of Pentacles. And the negative energy continues. Abuse, it says abuse of generosity, denial of grant or loan, abuse of power, unfairness, fake charity, exploration, extortion. Sorry, it says extortion, underpaid bad debts. It is, the market has been falsely maintained for quite a while. What's happening right now was not unexpected. It was expected a couple of years ago. It was probably expected to happen 6 years ago. It needs a correction. It's been falsely maintained at the levels it is for quite a long time, but there was a necessity for that. And it's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of power. The market wasn't allowed to fail when it probably needed to, or it wasn't even allowed to go up, even though it does go up, it does go down, but it was artificially manipulated to not correct when it really needed to correct in the past. The next card is the Fool. No, it's the two. Sorry, it's the Two of Pentacles. So what is coming back is balance. All of this correction, all of this, everything that's all the volatility, everything that's happening right now is going to bring it back to balance. It's going to give a little more fairness to the everyday person. The card says balance, resourcefulness, tightening the budget. That's exactly what our country is doing, what the United States is doing. It's tightening the budget. That's an interesting, these are all coming out really interesting, I think. Tight budget, profit and loss, flexibility, allocating resources, juggling life and financial decisions. If at this point you are uncertain about if you do have funds in the market, in the market, in 401ks, in retirement accounts, be balanced about your reactions, because it will correct. I mean that it will correct. The sifting out that's happening right now is going to get most of the corruption, or the blatant corruption, out of the activity. The next card is Eight of Cups upright. So balance is coming back. And after that, there's going to be an abandonment. Then it says abandonment, walk away, travel, letting go, withdrawal, retreat, moving on, disappointment, loneliness, self-discovery. What we will find out is, the first card out was it's bad or disappointing. There was a lack of ideas. It was just abusive trading, and unfettered trading. It never resulted in any correction. It is now. As we move forward, we're in a correction probably right now, but as we look back, we're going to say, no, we don't want that anymore. We're going to find other alternative investments, other ways to trade stocks, and other ways to trade bonds. It's in the archaic right now. The stock market, the bond market, the commodities market, all of the markets are in a chaotic old think. We're going to turn our backs on that. There will be a development. It's just channeling I'm getting. There will be a development that renews how investments are transacted, and what companies are part of a collective, not really collective, not socialist, but a collective trading mechanism. It won't be what we think it is today. It's not going to be what we think it is today. So we'll turn our backs on that old system, because it's an old, I'm hearing it's an old system. It needs to be revitalized. There need to be new ideas. There needs to be some refreshing thought into how it's traded, not how it has been, because it's been severely manipulated by, guess who? The power elite, the power controllers. We're going to turn our back on that old. And then if you think about it, they've been telling us, first of all, the old way to do it is the mechanical way of how goods, services, monetary transactions, bartering is how it was defined in the dominance era. And the new era coming is going to be all different. Okay, so the underlying card, first card is Ace of Swords. Oh, okay. This one says new ideas, new plans, intellect, logic, reason, truth, focus, mental clarity, victory, decision, new projects, knowledge, vision. It's exactly what I just channeled. It's exactly the message that we just got from that. And that I'm putting that over that Eight of Cups, Eight of Cups. I'm putting that over it because that is what's replacing the old system, is the new ideas, the fresh starts, thinking into the future, not putting our hard-earned dollars and our hopes and our dreams in an archaic system. Very cool. So it's replaced by that. And then the next one is, well, I think it's the Five of Pentacles reversed. It says, and remember, this is the next underlying card, overcoming adversity. So we replace the archaic with the new, and then overcoming adversity, improvement in finances, amazing, amazing, health improvement, being accepted, forgiveness, and positive change. So all of this hard ache that some of us are going through, a lot of the disappointments, a lot of the fluctuations, a lot of the drama that all of this stock market adjusting, all of the things that we're going through right now as of what's today again? April 11th in the morning, all of that, or we're overcoming all of that distress. Okay, and the next card is the Page of Pentacles. That's the last card I'm going to pick up. And finally, a new approach comes. Good news on monetary matters. That is, I mean, these are pretty interesting. Setting goals, ambitions, consistency, young person, represents a young person, loyal, faithful, dependable. What we will end up with is a more balanced for everybody. Everybody thinks they need to be in the stock market, but it's really not for everybody. But as all of this adjusts, as everything changes, we are getting a look at, not an inside look at, we're getting a look at how everything is so easily manipulated. I think in the days to come, we're going to find out how manipulated the stock market is. I do have a little experience in that. I was in the brokerage business in the 80s. So that's the last card, the Page of Pentacles. Everyone has noticed the volatility, the ups and the downs, the anxieties, the hopes, the dreams, things crashing, the hopes and the disappointments, and the great things that the market helps people do. What I was noticing as I was pulling these cards, did you notice how the cards are negative, then positive, negative, negative, positive? And then these cards directly represent what is happening. It's talking about money. It's talking about finances. It's talking about extortion. And then it's talking about balance. It's talking about new opportunities, up and down. The cards are relaying to me the way it looks. They're relaying to me exactly what's happening on a day-to-day basis for the last, at least for the last week or so, a little over a week, a couple of weeks, how volatile it's been. These cards are I think depicting what we have been going through. And then the final cards say everything's looking good. It's corrected. It becomes more of what we want it to be for us. I mean, for the normal person, it wasn't developed for the normal person, but so I think that's kind of something that's I'm picking up on. I think that might be all that's coming to my head. But it is nice to know that even though, it starts out disappointing, it ends up being good news. I also think that my universal energy team has been talking to us about crumbling. This is another sector. It's another sector of the crumbling. It crumbles. I think banks are next. Going to look at banks next because it all has to be corrected. Takes a little bit of time, and unfortunately, this kind of stuff affects us at the ground level, not the not the politicians. They really don't care. They don't really care. They act like they do, but I think the overall focus by the current administration of the United States, I think they're going to start putting things into place that help the common person, and that's you and me. That's it. It's another part of the crumbling. Hopefully it's ended. Hopefully it'll end soon without too much more devastation. And then I think banks are next. That's what I think. Okay, so that's what the cards are saying about what will happen with the stock market. Looks like it's going to get cleaned up. That's the report I have for you today. Please stay tuned because there's a lot more to come.